Hey guys, this is Dan, aka Saxman112, and today I'm going to be doing a comparison between the iPhone 4 and the second generation iPod Touch. The first thing I'm going to do is compare the size of these two devices. So I'm going to pick them up and I'm first going to compare the thickness of both of these. As you can see, the iPhone 4 is just a tiny bit thicker than the iPod Touch, but not by much. As compared to the 3GS, the iPhone 4 is substantially thinner than the previous 3G/3GS. Now I'm going to compare the backs of the devices. As you can see, the iPod Touch is just made of stainless. I think it's just stainless steel, and the iPhone 4 is made of glass. And same goes with the front also. Oh, also, before I forget to mention this, the iPhone 4 has a camera on the back of it, while the iPod Touch doesn't. It just has the Wi-Fi antenna. Alright, now getting back to the front of the device. As you can see on the front of both the devices, you have the physical home buttons, and then on the iPhone 4, the only differences that it has, or only the things that it has on there that the iPod Touch doesn't, are the earpiece and the front-facing camera. Then here on the left side of the iPod Touch, there's a volume rocker, which changed the buttons on the iPhone 4. And then there's also the profile switcher, which isn't present on the iPod Touch. Then here at the bottom of the iPod Touch, you have the dock connector and a 3.5mm headphone jack, and that's a bit of a different layout from the iPhone or iPhone 4, where you have the microphone, the dock connector, and a speaker. Now that's something different about the iPhone 4 as opposed to second and third gen iPod Touches, because both of these generations just have a speaker integrated into the dock. And now up here on the top of the iPod Touch, you just have the sleep wake button, while on the top of the iPhone or iPhone 4, you have the sleep wake button on the right and the 3.5mm headphone jack on the left. And also, one other thing worth noting is that on the right side of the iPhone, there is a micro SIM slot, and that's not present on the Verizon version of the iPhone 4 because it's a CDMA. Because Verizon is a CDMA network and it doesn't use a SIM card. Alright, so now I'm just going to put my in-case slider case back in my iPhone 4. There we go. There it goes. Alright, so as you can see, I now have my slider case back in my iPhone 4. Hold on, I'm actually gonna put my hand back in. There we go. I have a slider case back on it, and as you can see, it actually doesn't add that much thickness to the device at all. It actually keeps it quite slim, and that's what I love about the in-case. So, kudos to you. So, and another thing I love about this case is that it has a nice opening here for the volume buttons and profile switcher, so I don't have any problems accessing that, along with the sleep wake button and a nicely cut 3.5mm headphone jack, so I have no problem plugging in headphones from different companies like Sony or other brands. So I'm just not restricted to Apple's headphones, just like I was with the bumper. And same goes with the dock connector in the bottom. Nice opening there. Then you obviously have access to the microphone and speaker. Alright, so Now I'm going to get on to some of the software comparisons. So I'm going to unlock each of the devices and I'll show you the changes on each. Oops. Not sure if you can really pick this up in the video, but you notice that you might have noticed that the iPhone 4 has a much better internal speaker than the iPod Touch. Because right now I have both these maxed out. I have that one. I'll go into iPod here to make sure it's maxed out. Yep, it is. So both of these are maxed out, and I would just have to say that this one has a much better quality internal speaker than the second/third generation iPod Touch. Alright, so now the next comparison I'm going to be doing is the traditional display or regular display here on the iPod Touch as opposed to the Retina display of the iPhone 4. Again, I'm not sure how well the camera's going to do with this, but as you can see, if I get in really close, you can possibly start to see pixels. Again, I'm not sure how it's going to pick it up. Also, you're probably going to be seeing these jagged edges on app icons. Oh, whoops, it actually turned off on me. You know what, I'll have to give you a better example. I'll just connect to my Wi-Fi, and then I'll go to Safari. And I'll go to the Apple Store to really show how this go to really show us. Whoops, I had to enter my password. Sorry about that. Just because we recently got a new router and I had to reconfigure my wireless network here in the iPod Touch. So now it should connect. There we go. So now I'll go to Safari. Stop. Come on, stop. There we go. So now I'll go to Store. Apple.com. Go. Alright, so it is loading. Alright, here we go. You really might not notice this, but some of the text doesn't look as crisp when zoomed out here on the iPod Touch. So now I'll try zooming in if I can. Whoops. There we go. Just waiting for it to render more here. Sorry about this. Come on. It's taking so long for it to render. Yep, this is a problem I'm having. I don't know why. At least I don't use this thing anymore. Oh, there we go. That's weird. No, I don't want to do that. Close. Alright, so now I should be able to zoom in, theoretically. There we go, finally. I don't know why this thing's having problems rendering. No, I did not click on you. Sorry, this thing is just lagging like crazy right now. Alright, so after all of those glitches and stuff, you can probably see that, like, even when I'm zoomed all the way in, pictures and text don't look as crisp. So now I'll just zoom out. And as you can see, a lot of the stuff is pretty hard to read. So now I'll show you the same thing on the iPhone 4. Alright, so I'll zoom in here. Well, not too far, because there we go. As you can see, even the home screen in here looks a lot smoother. You don't see any jagged edges in the icons here, and you can actually make out those app icons in the folders. So now I'll go to Safari and show you the same website. There we go. .apple.com. Go. Hopefully this one shouldn't have much of a problem because I'm just loading over 3G. Alright, so it's almost loaded. A little bit faster than Wi-Fi because I don't get the best signal up here. No, I don't want to download you. Okay, so this is the same page loaded up here on the iPhone 4. And we can get this to focus. Focus! There it goes. Yeah, let's get up close here. There we go. As you can see, I'm zoomed all the way out here. You know, notice that text is a lot more legible, even when zoomed out. And if I zoom in, which pinch zooms out to work on this one, thank God. Stuff just looks really, really crisp. It looks like as if you're basically reading out of a book or magazine or something, which is very cool. Alright, so one of the other comparisons I can make between the two is the features that are available on each, because this one is running iOS 4.2.1, which is the latest version supported by the second generation iPod Touch. So, for example, well wait, first before I do that, you'll probably notice here that I don't have a background here, and that's one of the limitations of iOS 4 here on the second gen iPod Touch. But if I move over here to the iPhone, as you can see, I have the home screen background. That's very nice. So now, back to the feature I was talking about. If I double tap the home button here, it'll take me to the iPod, because that's what I told it to do under the general portion of settings. But if I double tap the home button on the iPhone 4, it'll bring up the multitasking bar. So multitasking or fast app switching is supported on the two latest devices, the iPhone 4 and 3GS, as well as the 4th and 3rd generation iPod Touches, while it's not supported on the 2nd generation iPod Touch. But as you can see, features that are shared between both are folders, so that's very nice. Okay, so let me see. I guess I'll do one more comparison between the two, and then I'm going to be showing you what I have here on my iPhone 4. So this will be like a what's on my iPhone video also. Alright, so I'm gonna make sure I have it closed out on here. Whoops. There we go. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to do that. And close it out. And I'll try my best with this. So I'll get settings here. And I'll attempt to load both of these at the same time. So 3, 2, 1. As you can see, it loaded up much faster on the iPhone 4, and that was with it even closed out on the fast app switch on the multitasking bar. So that is pretty awesome. Plus, since an app like this also supports backgrounding, I can just go to About here, and I'll also do that here. And I'll press the home button and turn the home screen on both. Alright, so now I'm back at both the home screens, and watch what happens after I open up settings on each of these. As you can see, this one just returns back to the About page. That's because the Settings app, as well as a select few applications in the App Store right now, support fast app switching if the developer has the API for it. So that's pretty cool. Also, getting back to the home screen on here is much faster thanks to the A4 processor. I'm not so sure about the exact clock speed of this processor, but if I do know, I'll put it somewhere in a video description, or I'll just add an annotation right here. So now I'm just going to take this out of the video. And now, back to the lovely iPhone 4. So now this is going to be the what's on my iPhone 4 part of a video. I can get the camera to focus. There we go, thank you. Alright, so starting off with the top row, I have messages, calendar, photos, camera, then YouTube, stocks, maps, weather. These are like all basic iOS apps, and you guys should probably know what they are. Then I have notes, iTunes, the App Store, and the utilities folder, which contains some of the utilities that come with iOS by default, as well as some of my own. So in the utilities folder, I have Amazon.com, Bump, Battery Doctor, Boingo, Calculator, Clock, Compass, Dictation, or Dragon Dictation, which is an application by Nuance Communications, if I can even talk, that allow you to dictate what you say into text, and you can send it via an SMS, post it as a status on Facebook or Twitter, as well as some other functions. Days Until, which is an app that allows you to count down the days remaining until a certain event is coming up. Gallery, which is a photo viewer for mobile me. Flashlight, self-explanatory. iDisk, also part of mobile me. Then I have a more utilities folder, and in there I have iHandyLevel, my AT&T, and I use this to mostly for managing my data usage, because I don't have the unlimited plan, and I'm on the 2 GB Data Pro plan. Metronome, Safari, Remote, Speed Test, Urban Spoon, and Voice Memos. Next up, the games folder. In here I have Angry Birds, Angry Birds Rio, Bubble Free, Crash Kart, Cube Runner, Darts, Farmville, The Game Center, iBowl, Pac-Man Lite, Paper Toss, and Pinball HD. Next I have a more games folder, which contains Super Monkey Ball, or just Monkey Ball, Pole Position Remix Lite, Cheap Launcher Free, Sonic the Hedgehog, or Sonic 1, Tap Tap Revenge, the original one, and Tap Tap Revenge 2. Then I have an entertainment folder, which contains I Am T-Pain, iHeartRadio, iMovie, Jared, Past Life, Sounddrop, Shazam, That's What She Said. It's a button, and you can just press it, and it says that. Pretty self-explanatory there. Voice Plus. What this basically is just a voice-changing software, or voice-changing app, excuse me. You can just record yourself saying anything, and you can apply a lot of effects. Zippo Lighter, 103.7 Kiss FM, an app provided by one of my local radio stations. And last but not least, 99.1 The Mix, another one of my local radio stations. Then here in this last page I have Netflix, Contacts, iBooks, a small social networking folder with Facebook and Scavenger, and last but not least, Settings. Then down here in my dock I have Phone, Mail, Opera Mini instead of Safari because, as you probably noticed, it was here in my More Utilities folder. I have that down here because I think Opera Mini just works. It just works more reliable, or should say, it's just more reliable than Safari because it actually prefetches a page when you're browsing to it, and I find that very nice. And then, last but not least, here on my dock is the iPod. Alright, so that is about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I also hope that you guys didn't get bored. And before I end this video, I just want to remind you guys that if you like this video, to give it a big ol' thumbs up. Also, be sure to post a comment on this video with your thoughts of it, and also don't be afraid to post a video response of what's on your iPhone, whatever kind it would be, or iPod Touch, or even your iPad if you wanted to. Just any iDevice. And just upload a video of any iDevice you have and the applications you have on it, and post it as a video response to this video. Please subscribe to my channel. It really means a lot to me because as of this day I have 498 subscribers to my channel, so that means I only need 2 more to get to 500. So if I just get those 2 more, I'll have the goal, or I will have met my goal for this amount of subscribers I want for right now. So I just want to thank all the subscribers I have right now, and I can't wait to reach my goal. So again, I sure hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.